COVID-19 is not a death sentence. It is something that you can win over.
Napansin nyo na siguro medyo nag-iiba yung boses ko. Well, I was experiencing flu-like symptoms.
So in a way, gusto kong mamulat yung mga mata ng mga... And every time I do, basically, kailangang mag-comply ka. Hindi ako masyadong nahilig sa counters. Itong gaming ang isa sa mga pinakamasayang stay-at-home activity. At pag nasa bahay ka, pero kagaya rin ng in-express ng ilang mga kapamilya.
I just wanted to add na for the past few months na talagang nagsimula itong pandemic, we've been very strict about safety, yung social distancing, pinapractice namin yan, yung PPEs every time that we go out and interact with other people. And pagka lumalabas kami, normally nga, halos wala talaga kaming labas eh.
Marami pa rin nagtatanong kung saan ko nakuha yung virus. So let me tell you what I think. Nung early July, bumiyahe kami sa Batangas. At kahit bahay, kotse, bahay lang yung naging sistema namin, papunta at pabalik. Siyempre, yung kagad ang pumasok sa isip ko. Doon sa biyahe namin na yun, 3 tao lang yung medyo nakalapit sa akin. At lahat sila ngayon ay negative. Sa 4 na kasambahay namin na pinatest din namin, isa ang nag-positive pero asymptomatic. At kumpara sa misis ko at sa mga anak ko, ako yung pinaka hindi in contact sa kanila. Si Ayoy at yung mga anak ko, nag-negative din sa test. So, ibig sabihin, hindi ko sa Batangas nakuha. So, saan ko kaya nakuha yung virus? Ang duda ko, deliveries. Pero FYI, lahat ng deliveries na dumadating, hindi nakakapasok dito sa studio nang hindi sinasanitize. Pero dahil siguro sa sobrang excited ko na mabuo tong studio ko, palagay ko may mga online deliveries akong nabuksan. Tapos, diretso ginamit ko na agad. Sa sobrang atat ko, malamang hindi ko na nasanitize yung nasa loob ng package. Yun lang ang nakikita kong paraan para makasingit yung virus sa loob ng katawan ko. Kaya advice ko sa lahat ng mahilig magpa-deliver, nako please lang, maniguro kayo. Sa ngayon, doble na ang dinadaanan ng deliveries namin. Una, sinasanitize, tapos ini-sterilize ng UV light. Hindi lang yung packaging, pati yung laman. At bawat binubuksan ko, lalo pag bago, nagsusuot na ako ng mask at saka naglilinis ako ng kamay before and after kong hawakan. Ganito na ang new normal. Hopefully hindi lang sa pamilya ko, kundi para sa mga pamilya nyo na rin. Komedyante po ako by profession, pero makinig po sana kayo pag sinabi kong hindi biro ang magka-COVID.
As far as possible, we should try to make our food at home currently and have it. And for 2 very good reasons. One, of course, that when you're making your food at home, you're sure that you're heating it up properly and all that. So the virus does not survive heat very well. So what science tells us is that if you heat the virus at about 70 to 72 degrees for about at least 30 minutes, 5 to 30 minutes, within that much is enough to kill all the viruses. I do get food from outside, I should be very careful of who's handling the food because there's no control over that. So as soon as the food comes from outside, I should be very careful of 2 things. One is handling the package and making sure that I don't touch the package and the hands back to my face, because that is how the virus gets into my body. So even if I do touch the package, I'm fine as long as I don't touch my face. Once I open the package and I discard the package carefully into the dustbin, into a closed dustbin, I take the food out and I would like to heat the food before I consume it. So what I would recommend to everybody who is going to buy food from outside is, as far as possible, try to buy food that you can heat at home and have it. Preferably in a microwave or even on a pan, but heat your food before you have it. Different people will tell you different things, but as long as you are not touching the packet and then touching your face, you should be fine, right? So if you want, feel free. Handle the package with gloves or something, but if not, that's also fine because gloves are not really necessary. As long as you do not touch the package and then directly your face, any part of your face, you should be fine. So there's no need to actually sanitize everything that comes from outside, because most of this is paper, and even if the virus has gone inside the paper, there is no way to get it out and clean it up that thoroughly. So it is pointless to sort of sit and spray things on everything that comes from outside. Best way to avoid the virus is to handle it carefully and make sure that you don't touch your face.
Problem is, tasty treats aren't the only thing he's about to share. Justin doesn't know it, but he picked up a germ at a concert last week. Now he's sprinkled his donut box, his hands, and the office door with those germs. In real time, as Justin says good morning to John, and Ashley grabs her favorite Boston cream, those germs have hitched a ride onto two new hosts. With a rub of the eyes and a gulp, they're through the human front door and ready to get down to the business of making people sick. When it's time to call it a day, Ashley brings the infection onto the train. She hasn't washed her hands in hours. The germs covering them make a pit stop on the grab bar before finding a home on some new hands. A few cars over, Justin is coughing again. In these tight quarters, that's bad news. He and his fellow passengers get off the train and head to their homes. The spread continues. But what if Justin's morning had gone more like this? A sneeze into the elbow, and then some hand sanitizer to be safe. A cough into a tissue, and a good job throwing it away and washing hands. Coworkers don't touch their eyes, noses, or mouths, no matter what. By following those steps, Justin's germs could have stayed away and slowed the pace of the spread.
Diretso sa apoy ang mga namamatay sa COVID-19 na hindi man lang nabuburol ng kanilang mga mahal sa buhay. Paliwanag ng isang crematorium, kahit nakasuot na sila ng personal protective equipment, kailangan pa rin mag-ingat, lalo na't ang ilan sa kanila pumapasok sa mismong chamber o pagsusunugan para linisin at ihanda ito.
Minsan yung mga pamilya gusto nilang pabuksan yung cadaver bag, sa protocol sir, ayaw namin sir dahil yung biglang singaw sir, doon nakukuha ang epidemya.
Sa isang crematorium sa Quezon City, nababasbasan ng pari ang labi bago sunugin. 2 oras inaabot ang cremation. Sunod nang makikita ng pamilya ang mahal nila sa buhay, abo na, naka-plastic, nasa urn.
Nobody can visit you, not even your family members. So we were really in isolation. It's a negative pressure room. So my wife and I had video calls almost every hour. She was checking on me to make sure that I've eaten, I have drank enough water for that particular hour. And every time I feel fear, I would immediately call my wife and my daughter just to give me to suspend reality that I was in a hospital. The scariest moment was maybe it started on the 4th day when people who got admitted at the same time as me, they started dying. Early in the morning, you would hear people crying or wailing because they have lost their loved ones. I just want people to know that getting COVID-19 is not a death sentence. It is something that you can win over. You just need to have the right faith, psychological and emotional perspective. I want you to know that once you have symptoms, you need to immediately isolate yourself. There's no way you can take a risk that the elderly or the high-risk groups in your family will get contaminated or will get the virus.
Tandaan ang mga sintomas ng COVID-19. Ubo, lagnat, at hirap sa paghinga. Para sa mga sintomas na dapat bantayan, tandaan ang salitang ulan, U para sa ubong walang plema, LA para sa lagnat, at N para sa nahihirapang huminga. Kung nararanasan nyo ang ulan, sundin ang payo ng doktor. Laging magsuot ng mask at ugaliing maghugas ng kamay. Kalma lang tayo dahil karamihan sa kaso ng COVID-19 ay gumagaling. Mga kapuso, labanan natin ang COVID-19.
At kung bago ka lang dito sa channel na to, huwag mong kakalimutan mag-like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Season 2.